Why hello there, welcome back to my channel. Today we're back with a kind of different setting, a different aura, a different style of video. As you can see, I'm slightly lower to the ground. I have a drink and I am actually sitting down. I usually film these standing, but today I am lazy. So, I recently got back from London visiting my best friend Savannah. We made a couple of videos, if you probably saw them. I will leave some that we did together up there. But on my way back, I had to take a long flight. Not really long, I come from New Zealand, so it was actually a very short flight. But it was long enough to sort through all my playlists on my phone. Now, I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm very particular with my music taste. I have very particular playlists for particular moods, for particular days, for particular memories, and they're all vitally important to me. However, there is one playlist that I hold very, very special to my heart. It is crossed over from phones, from time and space. And this is my top tier playlist. My top tier playlist is my sense of music. This is what I think are the best songs I have ever heard. It is a collection of music that I will listen to when I want superiority. And today, I will be sharing you what I think are the greatest songs I have ever heard. Disclaimer, these are all my personal taste. If you do not agree with me, I do not care. This is one thing I will not budge on. All these songs, top tier. So yeah, I'm just going to be listing all the songs that I have put on my playlist. I will be leaving a link to the playlist down below so you can listen to it. You can get educated on good music. And I'll just give you my thoughts on why I chose the song. I'll give some lyrics that I really like from the songs, and yeah, I hope you enjoy this kind of chill, sharing my music taste kind of video. Also, these aren't in any ranks. These aren't like going from the worst to the best to the best to the best. These are all equal. I love all of my children equally. First up, we have 7 by Taylor Swift. A song that is recent, it's new, it's from Folklore, her newest album. But the first time I heard it, I was hooked instantly. I really like the message of this song. I think it's basically, there's a lot of theories about it, but what I think it is her singing to her younger self and giving herself her perspective on things and how she views her 7-year-old self and how she views life back then. And I'm getting old now. I am 20, which is terrifying. So recently I've been really introspective on life and what things could have been or what things should have been. So hearing a song where Taylor, someone who I listened to when I was young, talk about this kind of stuff was really important to hear and really hit close to home. And though I can't recall your face, I still got love for you. When I first heard that, I cried. I can't really recall what I used to look like, even if it was like 3 months ago. Unless I look at photos, I can't recall it because I never saw myself from other people's eyes. But I know that when I was 7, I know that kid was beautiful, and I know she was good, and I still love her. And to hear that expressed in a song means a lot to me, and that's why it's a fantastic song. Continuing on from Folklore, we have My Tears Ricochet, which is, again, made me cry when I first heard it, and it's relatively recent, and I still cry when I hear it. The song is, if you've never heard it, it's in the perspective of a person who just died. It's set at a funeral, and it's in the perspective of the person who passed away. And it's speaking about how their abuser came to the funeral. And it's really hard to listen to, which is why I love it so much. It's the kind of song where you're like, oh, okay, so we're going there. One of the lyrics that I actually specifically skip to every time I listen to it, or sometimes I listen to it and then when I get to that part I just replay it 10 times, is I can go anywhere I want, just not home. When you have the freedom and the liberty to go anywhere you want, except for the place that means so much to you, because especially a place like home. Home is a place where you make most of your memories and where things are tied to most of the time. And when something comes in there and corrupts that, it haunts you and it feels like something's been taken away from you. And that sucks. And I think that's what the song really is about, is it's kind of resentful and painful of the fact that someone took something from you and is now showing up at an important event acting like they're the hero when they're not, and you can't say anything about that. So yeah, that is why that's in my top tier list, and as you can see, my top tier list is depressing. Following on from this route of excellent songs that recently just came out, we have People. I've already done a video of this, I will leave it up there. I've done a lyric breakdown of it. I love this song so much. I think it really encapsulates just everything about humanity and people and how we interact with each other and how we view each other, and I just think it's a really cool message and a really cool song, and also it's a fucking fantastic jam. It's a bop and I play it all the time. Attached to that is 28 featuring Niwa on D2, or also by Augusty. This song, again, perfectly encapsulates the feeling of growing up and realizing, oh shit, I'm kinda old now. One of the things that I think perfectly encapsulates the message of the song are the lyrics. Thought I would change after I turned 20, thought I would change after I graduate. Shit, after I turn 30 like that, yeah, then what would change? Ouch! Expecting things to change as soon as you hit a milestone is something we all do and never works, ever. The amount of times I've told myself, oh yeah, no, things will get so much easier once I turn 18. Oh no, wait, no. See, it's 19 when things have changed. No, wait, no, 20, because then it's not a teen year. And things haven't changed, so 21, I'm watching you. I swear to God. Next up, we have 8 by IU, featuring and produced by Sugar of BTS. 8 is probably going to be my most played song this year. I listen to it as a lullaby every night, which is slightly problematic when you actually look at the lyrics of the song. The feeling that I could describe that this song creates is one of perfect melancholy. It describes a perfect relationship of mourning, bittersweet joy, and celebrating something that you've lost. 8 links to the previous song. Both IU and Sugar have just turned 28. They're 28 this year. And they are both reflecting on the fact that 28 is a big number. The song reflects on trying to remember your youth, trying to dance in it, and then realizing that it's not there anymore. Attached to this is also mourning friends that have left too soon. When you lose someone very important to you before you realize that you've lost them, you hold on to that for a very long time and it becomes painful. And I think the tune of the song is incredibly happy. It's almost kind of like a summer bop, but it's so sad. And I think that's what it's trying to encapsulate, is trying to be happy when you're sad and trying to be sad when you're happy. I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it. I encourage you to listen to it because it's so good. It's so good and it means a lot to me. Moving on, I have my best friend to thank for this song, Flowers on the Grave by The Man. It is a 9-minute long song of absolute beauty, gloriness. I find so much comfort in this song. It is so good. Again, I found this recently, but my best friend showed me it. She's a huge fan of The Man. She even has like a tattoo of their lyrics, and they're a comfort band through and through. This is off an album that's called You Are Okay. Like, they're a comfort band. And this song, I think, really encapsulates the whole meaning of that album that it's on. Everything is temporary, even the sorrow that you carry. Things like that always really resonate me, because when I get depressed, when I get really sad, when I get really sorrowful, I think that that's what it's going to be like forever and ever. And it's not. And I really need to be reminded through music and words and through the feeling that the sound really creates that it's not going to be forever. And the song is just a jam. Moral of the Story by Ashy is a song that I found on TikTok. It was a TikTok sound that I actually really liked. It was on like a painting, like someone was doing art and it was playing in the background. And I just remember very vividly hearing, some mistakes get made, that's all right, that's okay. And being like, yes, this song, I like this song, good, I like this song. This song is all about being okay and settling for the fact that you made a mistake, which is so important. I think that we really get into this mind space of we need to beat ourselves up for making the smallest thing. But like, we're humans. It's our purpose to make mistakes. That's how we learn, that's how we grow, that's how we feel things. You're allowed to fall in love with people and then fall out of love. You're allowed to make mistakes. You're allowed to second guess your decisions. That's important. And the song really just goes, yeah, it's all right. It's okay. The Story by Conan Gray is a trip. It is fantastic. It is just him telling several stories to encapsulate the idea of life is a story and people's lives are a story and this whole world is just one big story. It deals with suicide and homophobia and falling out of friendships and trying to reach your dreams and abusive homes. It really just touches on everything in such a really simple, well put together way that I adore. I'm a writer, so whenever someone comes to me with that idea of stories and explaining ideas and multiple ideas in a story, especially in a song form, yes, give it to me. Give it to me. Next up, we have a self-indulgent song. We Are Bulletproof the Eternal by BTS is a song for their fans, which is, again, why it's self-indulgent. They make a lot of songs for their fans. It's kind of become a thing that they really do and really put forward, which I adore them for. I respect that and admire that so much, and it's something that I really, really love them for. But We Are Bulletproof the Eternal, you say that to any army, they will know. The name that everyone once laughed at, that was once embarrassing. This is the iron-proof bulletproof. If you didn't know, BTS stands for Bangtansonyondan, which means Bulletproof Boy Scouts. Their main message is to be bulletproof. It's to block off stereotypes and hate for the younger generation, to create a shield and to push away violence and hate and become bulletproof. They got a lot of hate at the beginning for their name and they were embarrassed of it, but now it's become a calling for not only the fans but also, I think it's really important for the world to embrace with something that you are embarrassed of or ashamed of, and to embrace it so wholly that it becomes your shield, that it becomes something that protects you, that it becomes something that you would defend but also defends you, is something that is so important. It's really just a rallying cry of we can do it if we believe in it strong enough. Billie Eilish is one of those artists that can make hit and misses for me, but when she hits, she hits. Elo Milo is one of those songs that just, it fits right for me. It is based around a video game that she used to play when she was a kid, about you going through this journey of like a character, and at the end you hug. And the song sounds like a video game, which is actually really cool, but if you look deeper into it, the lyrics are all about anxiety and fears and being worried that a person you love or a person that you care about won't come home to you, or will die, or will get hurt, and you won't be able to help them. And throughout the song, the sound also makes you really anxious. which is a really interesting way to do it. I really, really heavily relate to the fear of one day I'm going to make a mistake, or one day I'm not going to say something, or one day I'm going to make one slight wrong move, and then someone that I love will never come back home. And hearing that in a song put so brilliantly and so beautifully and so simply really resonates with me, and it's so well done. Also, like a little tidbit, the way it flows from Bury a Friend right into the sound, like it just flows between the tracks, that, oof, extra point, top tier, magnificent. Sugar's Interlude by Horsey featuring Sugar is one, again, that really, really encapsulates an idea that I don't think many people have talked about. It all deals with the fear and the feeling of, what if I don't enjoy this anymore? Or what if I don't feel right with my life anymore? And trying to deal with the emotions of, well, this is my life, and I chose this life before, and I have people relying on me, so I can't really feel bad about it, but I do feel bad about it, so what do I do now? And it's one of those songs that just, it really hits. The one lyric that I really like is when Sugar says, "The dawn before the sunrise is darker than anything, but never forget that the stars that you hope for only appear in the dark." And I think it's really important to remember that we all pray and wish for day, and that moment before when the sun comes up seems like the sun will never come up, and it's dark and it's scary and we don't think it'll ever rise again. But we need to remember that stars also bring light, and sitting through the night is the only thing that will make day come again. Also, a subtle reference to both Tomorrow and Microcosmos, both from BTS. So, like, extra points for that. We love referencing old music. I'm gonna go on an IU rant here, because if you haven't listened to The Love of My Life, please do. Her voice is magnificent, and that is perfectly demonstrated in Above the Time. Above the Time by IU is a sound that I adore. I cannot explain to you how well this music is, how good this music is, how well portrayed the emotions she's trying to go through. It's almost like watching a movie. It's almost like hearing a score for a movie. It's so good. The transition between just the flow of the song, where it starts with the strings and the violin, and her voice is just as good as it always is. It's powerful but also light and airy, and you can hear every emotion in her voice. And then it hits this one part where you feel like you're in the middle of a bright garden where flowers are blooming and there's someone by your side, and you're just dancing together through time and space and love, and you finally meet this one person, and then it cools down back into like almost like you're floating. It's so good. It's so good. Please listen to it. It's so good. It's IU's music, it's an experience, and I really encourage you guys to hear her voice. It's such a pretty voice, and I love her so much. When Manic first came out, I was listening to it with my best friend. She was a couple songs ahead of me, and I was listening to it, and we were texting each other our thoughts. And when she finished it, she just texted me, "You're gonna love 929. She was right. That's my favorite song off the album. Again, I am a sucker for story-based songs, especially one-take conversational story-based songs. It feels like you're just listening to her. It feels like you're having a drink with her and she's just talking to you about her life and her emotions at the moment. And it's so personal that I can't get over it. I wasn't in love then, and I'm still not now, and I'm so happy I figured that out. That lyric will always shock me because it's so honest and raw and open. And I appreciate this song and how personal it is so much. And I appreciate Halsey for sharing it with us. Speaking of slept on music, we need to have a conversation. I refuse to take any "it's nice to have a friend" slander. Ever. I know you guys like to hate on that song. I know you're like, oh, it was the only bad song off of Lover. No, it's not. It's the best song off of Lover. It's Nice to Have a Friend is underappreciated. Taylor hit the mark for that song, and none of you can change my mind. Yes, it's simple. It's supposed to be simple. It's Nice to Have a Friend is just her talking about little tiny moments in a relationship and appreciating them and going, hey, I've been in a dark place for a while and I feel so alone, and you're being kind to me. And I love that. So thank you. It's really nice to have a friend. We don't accept It's Nice to Have a Friend slander on this channel. The Good Side by Troye Sivan is a song that I deeply appreciate. It's a song of dealing with a breakup, but not in any kind of like, oh, I hate you kind of way, or oh, I don't love you anymore kind of way. Which both are fine. Those are fine songs to write about. Go for it. I have plenty in this playlist, that's for sure. It's just this song is told from a perspective of the relationship is over. It's done. But you still really care about this person. And you know that your life is going a lot better than theirs after the breakup. And you're sorry about that. You know that you can't get back together, and you know that they probably don't want to speak to you anymore. But you just want to reach out and tell them that you are sorry that things had to go this way. And you're sorry that they're in pain. And it's done so well. His lyrics and his voice in this song are so raw and so honest. My favorite line being, the people danced to the sound of your heart. The world sang along while I was falling apart. Like, it just, I really appreciate the honesty and the strength of someone to go, I am having a better time than you, and I'm sorry about that. I recognize that we didn't end well, and I'm sorry about that. I don't want things to change, but I still am sorry about that. It's just a really nice new perspective that I really like. I Love You by Billie Eilish, again, it hits the mark. Dead on point. This song brings up the fear of not wanting to say I love you, because you recognize the fact that everything will change once someone says I love you. It'll change the relationship, it'll change your life, it'll change how you feel towards this person. Even though you already feel love towards this person, something will shift because they'll know. And that's scary. And the rawness in her voice and the way she just carries this emotion through the song, it is so beautiful. Billie's voice is one that's really just so unique and so wonderful, and she's so young, so hearing this much, both like emotional maturity to not only feel these feelings but also name them and address them and put them in a song publicly, my god. But it's a really beautiful song. It's heartbreaking and honest and beautiful. Sober 2, Melodrama by Lorde. Melodrama by Lorde, let's just put this out there, one of the best albums ever. It's so well done, and especially this song, the title track. It carries on from part 1, Sober, which takes place at a party where they're getting drunk and Lorde is like, I'm having a good time right now, but in the back of my mind I'm still kind of worried about what will happen when I'm sober. Sober part 2 is when she is sober and she's cleaning out champagne glasses and she's like, you know what, that actually wasn't that fun. I'm not exactly a party person myself. I've been to like 2 parties in my life, but I do very much understand this song, and especially, and I do bring a lot of home to not just this song, but any of Lorde's music. Lorde is a Kiwi. She grew up in Auckland, Takapuna, and actually reasonably close to where I used to go to school. And specifically on Pure Heroine, but it carries over into Melodrama. It encapsulates a lot about growing up in New Zealand and being a teen in New Zealand and that kind of culture. So I bring a lot of personal meaning into her music. And not only that, the sound that she creates when she's making this type of music and these particular raw, honest songs, which is all of her music, it's so, the only way I can describe it is heart beating. I don't know if that makes any sense, but you know when you listen to music and you can feel it in your chest and you can feel like the beats are how your heart is beating. That is how I can explain Lorde's music. And sober with the strings and her voice and like the almost like choir in the back, it creates such this atmosphere of being at a party and being sober and being after a party and being like, oh shit, I didn't really like that. It's a really good description of the feeling. Spring Day by BTS is, we affectionately call her the queen. She is the longest charting song ever on Melon music charts in Korea. And she is vitally important to many, many people. She is a song about change and mourning and grief and depression. It's a song about being stuck in winter and being cold and being frozen and scared and still and waiting and praying and being hopeful for when that cherry blossom will start to bloom, when spring will come again, when the world will start to get warmer. It's a song about hope for change, hope for progression, not only in the world, but also in your own emotions. The reason why it resonates with so many people, and I'll do a video about it later, but it's about a national tragedy that happened in Korea. So a lot of people use it as a song of mourning and recognizing change and fighting back oppression. It's a really beautiful song, and I'll recommend some explanation videos. It's really good. Hi, I have a new drink and I went to the bathroom because I realized that I've been filming for 50 minutes talking about my favorite songs, but I don't mind. And you don't mind either because you're still watching this, so thank you. Next up, we have Sorry by Horsey, a song that hurts. Not only is it a great song, but it also really gets the feeling of losing a relationship because you're afraid of having a relationship. Sometimes you meet people in your life that you're not ready to meet, and that's really sad, but it happens, and it's a part of life, and it's part of love. You can appreciate someone, and you can care for them, and you can also let them go at the same time, and you can be sorry about that. We can hurt people sometimes, even if without the intention of hurting them. Sometimes we just hurt people, and I think this song really puts together the feeling of, I am sorry I did that. It's not in the way of you have to accept my apology, but it's more internalizing and putting, not only am I sorry to you, but I'm also kind of sorry to myself. And it's a piano ballad, so that's like automatically checked. Hard Feelings / Loveless by Lorde is one of those songs that you just, it feels like 2 seconds of a song. It's a quite long song. I think it's like 5 minutes, but it's 2 seconds in my eyes. It just, I cannot do anything. I cannot process anything when I'm listening to it because it just takes me to that area of my life where I'm just like, okay, so this is the only song I can ever hear ever. It follows that feeling of letting go of someone and experiencing the hard feelings of love and relationships and life and letting it go and trying to pass it by, but still remembering it. I really, really like the ending verse of this song. It's probably my favorite part of the song. I start letting go of little things until I'm so far away from you. Moving on and letting go of something is difficult, and it needs to be done in steps, and you need to process every step before you move on to the next. I don't know how to explain it, but this song is both chunky and smooth. That doesn't make any sense, but it feels like every lyric is separate, but it flows into each other. Again, doesn't make any sense, but it's the way I feel. I feel like I stop breathing after every line, but the music just keeps pushing me through, which I think is what the message of the song is about. You can get stuck on things and you can stop and halt, and it's hard and difficult, and you need something like the strings in the background to just push you through and carry you through, and it's done so well. I love Lorde. BB Rexa is an underappreciated artist. I have loved her for a very, very long time, since her debut EP. And what really portrays my love for her is the song Grace. Grace is a song about, again, meeting someone and being in a relationship with someone that you don't really feel is right for you, but you still care about them. You still know that they're a good person, but you need to let them go because you know that holding on to this is probably not the best for either of you. And what BB Rex is trying to do in this song is, can I let you go with grace? How do I end this with grace? So I try my best not to permanently hurt either of us or hurt you, even though I know it's going to hurt you. The lyric that I think encapsulates the whole song really well is, I knew the moment that I left you, you'd be alright. White Horse by Taylor Swift was a song of childhoods. It is the breakup song that I listened to before I knew what a breakup really was. And in saying that, and she still hits just as hard as she did when I was a kid, and I was mourning over the fact that one of the boys in my class wouldn't play with me because I had bad shoes on. So she is Taylor, like, at her purest form. She is such a good song that I think really encapsulates like her old era very well, and she's just really important to me, and I love White Horse a lot. Watch by Billie Eilish is one of the smartest like creations of a song that I've heard in a long time. The lyrics and the message of the song is good. I adore it. I really, really like it, and I think it's really awesome, and I love her voice and I love the message of it. But what really makes this song a top tier song is she has like matches, like striking a match as the beat, and like she uses like the sound of someone blowing out a match as part of the beat of the song, and those little details make a song top tier. You give me any little bit to make it like a picture, to make it unique, to make it have a little characteristic, you're good in my books. You are settled. You are just, you've done it. You've done it. Hayley Kiyoko does a lot of good things. She does a lot of good things, and she's helped me through a lot of my life, especially coming to terms with my sexuality and all those things. Like, she has done a lot right, and I will praise her and admire her for that for a very, very long time. The one song that always gets me by her is Let It Be. You might have noticed a theme here. I really like songs about change and pushing yourself through change and accepting things as they change. Why isn't Change by Taylor Swift in here? I might have made a mistake. Anyway, Wasted the Beautiful all on my own. I'm making a new home. To hear an artist just go, I need to let things be. I need to let my past be. I need to let the things that happen, even if they are painful, I need to let it go. I need to let it be to make my own new start. I need to make my own new home. It's really, really good for me. And it's a really, really good song. Continuing on this chain of letting things go, Everything Goes by RM is a spiritual experience. It's one of those songs, again, that you can feel in your entire body. You close your eyes and listen to the song, you feel like you are flying. You feel like you're up in the air and you're just letting things pass, and you're letting him speak you through the hardest moments of your life. It is embracing the bad and the good and the good and the bad, and letting it all wash over you and pass you by, and remembering that it passes eventually, clearly. It will pass. Everything passes. Everything goes. Now, we have reached the final three. I know I said before that I wouldn't rank them, and I still don't. I do not think any of the previous songs that I've mentioned before have any hierarchy over any of the others. However, these final three are superior. They are my babies. They are what I consider the best written songs ever. And I will die saying that. If I ever find a song that beats any of them, I won't. Starting off, we have First Love by BTS. I cry every single time I listen to the song. Without no joking, I hear the first note of the song, my eyes start tearing up. It is a solo song by Yoongi, and it is the song that got me into BTS. I was a casual fan before that, and I listened to their music just casually, but as soon as I heard the song, I was like, this is my band. This is my band. This is my artist, and I claim them. They are my favorite artist. First Love, to give you a recap of the song, is a spoken word poetry. That's the only way I can really describe it. It is pure spoken word poetry. It is about Yoongi's first love, which is music. It is more specifically a brown piano in his living room. It follows the journey of him playing it when he was a kid and growing up and being so in love with music that he begins to despise it, because he despises himself and he despises his life, and he can't possibly like something that causes him pain to even think about. And then all along, music is still there by his side, supporting him. To say that this song has saved my life would be an understatement. I found this song exactly when I needed to. I was about to give up writing and I despised everything. And then I found this song, and First Love will always be my favorite song of all time. Speaking of good written songs, we have the creme de la creme, the peak of anyone's career. We have All Too Well by Taylor Swift. This is not an unpopular opinion. If you find a Taylor Swift song their favorite song, probably All Too Well, for good reason. She is that girl. She is a story. She is portraying a relationship that you can see. I listen to this song and I've never been in this situation. I've never been in this type of relationship. I don't know any of these people Taylor is speaking about, but I have lived through this relationship solely through this song. You feel every moment of joy, every moment of heartbreak. You deeply relate to these two characters so much you become them, or you become their best friends. It is an experience. It describes a scarf and drawers. It describes family reunions. It describes pictures and sitting at traffic lights and dancing in the refrigerator light. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. It's so good. And you cannot diss any song that has the phrase, "Hey, you call me up again just to break me like a promise, so casually cruel in the name of being honest." Her mind. This is actually the only song that I can quote off by heart. I have written it down before when I'm bored. I just write down the whole lyrics. It's such a good song. And finally, we have Ribs by Lorde. I cannot describe the feeling that this song takes me to. I cannot describe the emotions this song brings me, because it is the only song I've ever heard that sounds like this. It feels like youth, not romanticized youth, not flourished youth, not one specific type of youth. It feels like honest youth. I don't know how she did it, but she did it. And thus, we have my top tier songs. Thank you so much for watching that and me talk about this. I hope you found some new music that you might want to listen to, and if you have any music that you think I might like now that you know my general kind of taste, please do share. I would love to hear what your favorite songs are and what you would put on a top tier playlist. Speaking of which, the link to the top tier playlist will be down below if you want to check it out. Go ahead. I also have a K-pop version of this type of playlist if you want me to explore that in a video. It's a lot more poppy, it's a lot more happy, but that's because when I find K-pop songs, I like to search for dopamine. Also, if you like my t-shirt, it is sold on the queerkiwi.com/shop. It was hand stitched by my best friend, and it's like completely carbon neutral, eco-friendly, plastic-free type of shirt. She makes great stuff, and we're also together making earrings. So if you want to check those out, the link will be in the description if you want to support us. I also have a podcast that I do with my best friend, and we have a Patreon. So if you want to support us there, the podcast is more kind of political, more kind of me ranting about things that are happening in the world. So if you want me to get a little bit more heated about a little more serious topics, that's there for you. Also, as always, there will be a link down in the description to a bunch of petitions to help what is going on in the world right now. Black Lives Matter, Poland, Lebanon. There are some serious things that are happening right now that need a lot of attention, a lot of help and support. So if you could please check those out. And there are donation links, there are petitions, there are videos that you can stream to give money. Anything helps, and it's really important that we do our part to help people in the world right now. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you have a great and beautiful day. I will see you later. Bye!